Hello, everyone, and welcome to Polarized. I'm your host, Molly Dare, joined today by my amazing co-host, Donna Bowling, the lady who needs no introduction.
Well,
Hi,
hello.
so excited to have you join me again. I have so much to discuss today. We had the Oscars last night.
Oh my God. I just finished roasting it.
Oh, you
I
did?
roasted it.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's get into it then. I'm so excited. Okay, can we first start with the red carpet? Who were your
Yeah.
hits and who were your misses?
Okay. Here's the thing.
Yes, Donna.
I will say it's tough because I am not like a fashionista. I am not someone that should speak on fashion. Like, I am not the person that should speak on fashion. I can't really say what looks amazing, but I can say what looks awful. But I can tell you who looked beautiful right off, like immediately. Demi Moore, Brad Goreski has killed this
Killed it.
season.
Killed it. He has done such a phenomenal job. She has never looked better than this award season.
And it doesn't hurt that she has taken the magic pill, whatever that is.
Yeah. We need
We
the
don't
name,
know what it
number,
is.
and dosage of that substance
We
ASAP.
I will pay we will give our firstborn and secondborn
And second, yeah.
and third if we had and the dogs. We will do it all for to look like Demi Moore currently in her she could be 40, she could be 90. We don't
Yeah.
know.
We
She's
don't
death
know.
becomes her.
Yeah.
She's perfection. But she has looked really, truly. To be honest, the one look I didn't love of hers this whole season was SAG last week or whenever that was with
What
that.
was that look?
She had this like black leather kind of ish dress, and almost she looked so skinny, and it
Yeah.
almost looked loose in the belly area. And I didn't
Well, when
love
it's
that as much.
loose in
But
like the hip bone area, then I
yeah,
think it looks a little ill.
she looked so slim because
Mm.
she needs to wear a body hugging dress. If it's
Yeah.
loose on her skinny body, it's not going to look healthy. But I mean, she looked stunning. But then it just speaks to like, why did she not win
Okay, can we
that
discuss
dress?
this?
Okay,
The
but
biggest shock, and what's crazy is before the Oscars, like a few hours before, the Hollywood Reporter put out, they kind of calculated this mathematical equation where they took in like all these different numbers into play and they predicted who was going to win each category. And they were right in every single one except for Demi Moore.
oh yeah, I mean, I don't think one person would have guessed anyone but her. The only other option for me could have been Cynthia Erivo for that
A hundred
award.
percent.
Mikey came out of left field, but I guess you won the BAFTA. I don't know. It was really sad. It was really a bummer. Demi really deserved that because I don't think she'll have another chance.
I know. And that's the saddest part. And I think that's why everyone was rooting for her. But also the irony is that it's exactly what the movie The Substance is about, right? She's sitting there, kind of aged out of Hollywood, if you will, although she is in her prime. Um, and she gets beaten by a much younger version of her, which
Yep.
is exactly what the movie is about. And she just watched it happen to her in real life, in real time.
It's too, what do they say? Like meta. It's
Yeah.
too ironic. It
And
sucks.
did you see her kind of turn, like her reaction when she found out she didn't win and she kind of mouthed, I saw a lip reader say that she mouthed the word great, but not in like a happy, like great. It was like great, kind of knowing it was kind of probably her last shot.
It's just so crazy. It's like it was building to this moment. There was no other choice for anyone. Like I can't imagine anyone thinking anything other than that. But it really was a bummer, and I'm sure she has no. You can't even fake it to be happy for this little 25-year-old girl
No, who has like decades of roles
ahead of
she
her.
could win Oscars for. She did, I did see her later on in the evening with like a whole bucket of fries in front of her, which is
Me
probably
too.
how I would cope as well.
She probably would have done that if she won as well. She probably hasn't eaten in three
She
months.
needs to eat. She needs
Big
to eat.
time.
She looks
Um,
fabulous, but you know,
Ariana Grande's look when she was singing was 10 times better than her look when she was at the show. I don't get the monochromatic peach matching the skin looks that she always has every award show. Like she always is in that light pink peach vibe. I think she
yeah.
dresses adorable. Like I loved the look of the dress, but I wish she had more color.
Well, she's giving Glinda, right? Glinda the pink.
Yeah.
And then Cynthia Erivo looked like she ate Glinda. Did you see her in like the big?
It was wild. And she's tiny.
She's so tiny. That's what I said. It looked like she literally ate Glinda because you know how Glinda comes out of the bubble in that big ball gown.
Yeah,
That's what it looked like to me. It was wild. I mean, they look fabulous and they sounded amazing. That opening number had me
was
in
incredible.
tears, full on chills. Like
Yeah,
that
it was
was,
really incredible. Although I really wish Cynthia did fly. They
mm,
couldn't have given us one flying moment.
yeah. Well, okay. So here's the thing, and I don't know if this is telling my age, and tell me if you feel differently about this. I didn't recognize most of the movies that were nominated. And I'm so used to being or watching the Oscars and like knowing all the blockbuster movies that are getting awards. I didn't know probably 80% of them.
I didn't know 95% of them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like, is this
I
a
mean,
meme?
we're supposed to know. I'm in the industry. I literally know, I knew Wicked.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
It
that was
was
my 1%.
really a weird year for movies.
Mhm.
I think it wasn't just you and I, though. I think truly the movies that were chosen, and there's 10 of them, which is wild too. 10 of them. And I think that they chose the most obscure, random, strange. I mean, of course, some of them are bigger names, but like they, I'm so over it. I have to be honest. I'm over the Oscars trying to be these like indie kind of like artsy fartsy things. I'm done.
Right?
Give us like really big blockbuster winners. Like, why can't Wicked win Best Picture? That was such a big movie.
It was such an amazing movie, and it was a movie that every single person went out and saw. It's shocking to me how Hollywood has changed because again, back in the day there were only five kind of nominees in each category. Now there's
Yep.
10. You think we'd at least see one of the 10. It's wild. Another great moment or an interesting moment was when Halle Berry went over and grabbed Adrian Brody and planted a very big kiss on him, reenacting what he did to her. Was that like 20 years ago?
What was that all about? I kind of forgot.
Okay, so 20 years ago, I think they were
I wasn't born. I'm really young.
before you were born,
Yeah,
and
I
I
was a
was
zygote.
too.
Yeah.
I remember watching Adrian Brody and Halle Berry come out to present an award. And I believe, I can't remember if, no, Adrian Brody won an award and Halle Berry presented and he grabbed her and kissed her on stage. Like a big planted, like a huge kiss on her.
When
And
he won for the movie, like the Holocaust movie,
yes,
he only wins for Holocaust movies.
yes, 20 years apart. So he's got another 20 years to go. Before the next one. But
Oh
so
my
Halle
God.
Berry's like, I've been waiting for this moment for 20 years to get him back, and then goes and plants a kiss on him right in front of his girlfriend.
But do you think it was planned?
I mean, AJ looked surprised, and so did the girlfriend.
I didn't see it. I saw the
So
clip, like
everyone's
I
like,
saw a
what was
picture of it, but
the
I didn't
girlfriend's
actually watch it
reaction?
live. Was it on E?
It was on the red carpet. It was like while they were walking, you know, kind of all walking in, and everyone's like, oh my God. The girlfriend was kind of like shocked. And I'm like, no, 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 no. The girlfriend is Georgina Chapman, who is
Yeah.
married to Harvey Weinstein. She's seen worse. Don't worry.
That is the strangest Hollywood circle shit that I've ever seen.
The circle is small.
What? Like, yeah, I can't wait to like learn more about that wild web.
Yeah. Um, so the other one that I was really surprised about, you weren't surprised about this. We talked about this earlier, was Zoe Saldana, which I know was everyone's choice to win.
It wasn't, I mean, it's not my choice, but she was winning everything anyway, but I can't believe that she won. Look, I didn't see the movie. I guess it's like it's hard to judge a movie that you didn't see, but I saw one clip and I was like, you've got to be joking me. Have you
Yeah.
seen anything?
No.
I will send you a TikTok of
Okay.
a clip of this movie and
But can you
you
give me like a
will.
just like a quick summary?
I don't know. The clip I saw is a musical of them singing about like turning from a man to a woman.
Okay.
It's a musical about penises, vagina. I don't even know.
Wow, okay.
It's not, it feels like an SNL joke from what I saw.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
All right. I'm gonna have to check it out and see why the ones that I didn't see are winning and the ones that I do see don't. What does that say about me and what I watch and my taste? Um,
I don't know, but like that's why I like the Golden Globes and the Emmys so much
yeah,
more because A, it's TV and film, and I'm so much more of a TV than film person anyway. If they're gonna do movies, then at least do movies that like appeal to the public, like comedies, like
yes,
funny, light-hearted movies that most people, not everyone, The Brutalist, or Adrian Brody's movie that he won for.
yeah.
I think it's 3.5 hours long. I could be wrong.
Okay.
And there is a legitimate intermission in the movie. Did you know this? My friend
I
Adam,
did.
that I
I
was
did.
with last
Someone
night,
posted something from it. Yeah.
he said, no, Donna, they turn on the lights and they tell you there is an intermission.
How long
The
is the
lights go on
intermission?
and you're supposed to get up and like go to the bathroom. He said, I at least wanted a snack because there's an intermission, but the concession stand was closed because it was late. It was 10 p.m. and they closed the concession. I was like, this sounds like my hell. I would never go back in.
No, that's horrible. I can't sit. My ADD would never let me sit through anything like that. Not a
Wicked
chance.
was hard enough.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I loved that movie, but there was music.
But can you believe that Wicked did not get, it got one Oscar, right?
Well, I think did it get costume and
Yes.
production design?
Yes.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, it
It
did.
got like the pretty stuff. And then my friend who was with me last night, also his best friend was nominated for best sound for Wicked. And so he was hoping that that would win and it lost. The only thing that I keep on hoping, Molly, is that because there's a second one that's coming out and it will be coming out, you know,
Mm,
Thanksgiving this year.
yes.
My gut is that they're going to throw them a ton of nominations next year. Like
I
John
hope
Chu
so.
will get Best Director nomination. And my hope is that like all of these wins will go to them next year. And it will
So we're
kind of be
holding
like a
space
culmination of both the first
for
and the second.
we're holding space for the sequel.
I'm holding space. I'm holding fingernails and spaces.
I really do think, though, going back to the red carpet, that there should be an award for their stylists.
I know.
I feel like Brad Goreski
Goreski.
should win an award. He is just phenomenal. Do you remember watching him on Rachel Zoe,
He's, of
the Rachel
course.
Zoe project?
Of
Fell in love
course.
with him then, and I've
I
been obsessed
know.
with him ever since. And Gary
Yeah, he's
Janetti.
amazing. And then he's married to Gary Janetti. They have the best, funniest relationship
Oh
ever.
my God, to be a fly on the wall.
For real. And my one of my good friends, Jamie, is a makeup artist, Jamie Greenberg, and she is, they do a lot of clients together. So like
Mhm.
one of their shared clients, I believe they both do Chelsea Handler, and I believe they both do. Well, I know they both do Kaylee Cuoco, and so they're always together when they're doing press for both of those clients. And watching Jamie's stories, Brad is always in the background, and they're just so funny together. Like Jamie's hysterical, Brad's hysterical. They truly feel like they're fun people to hang around with. I'm like, I want to see a reality show of just the makeup, the glam teams like that.
You know what? That brings up an interesting point because I think in general, just us as consumers, I'm so much more interested in the behind the scenes, the red carpets as everyone's walking in, the dynamics of them saying hi to each other, who's ignoring each other.
Who's
Um,
clapping at what and who's not clapping? Who's
yes,
standing up and who's not?
yes. Don't you find that way more interesting, like the human dynamics of the whole scene? Who cares about the awards? At the end of the day, who cares?
Not me. I want there to be a constant camera on the audience. What about that one person who won Best Original Song for Amelia Perez? And when she started singing after her award, and Amelia, I fell
So
over in
awkward.
embarrassment.
The secondhand embarrassment is so real in so many times throughout these award shows, at all award shows, honestly.
Would you be grossed out or think it was cute if your boyfriend threw gum at you?
Oh, yes. Wait, that was Adrian Brody, right?
Yeah.
To Georgina.
I
This girl,
listen, people
Georgina
are
has been through the
very
ringer.
upset about it. I have to say, number one, I don't think I could swallow gum on command.
No.
Everyone's
Not when
like,
you're
why didn't he
nervous.
just swallow? I'm like, your mouth is dry.
Yeah,
What if you start choking?
100%.
I'd much rather toss it.
What were his options? He had no other options.
People are so shocked by it. I'm like, come on.
No, I honestly think it's kind of cute, like intimate boyfriend girlfriend thing.
Like,
Like,
save
here,
me, like, help me. Yeah.
yeah,
And she
I,
ran towards it. It's not like she was like, ew.
yeah. Again, she was married to Harvey Weinstein. She's been through worse. She's
He
had
threw
worse.
all that other shit at her.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, another thing that people are so easily offended by You know how Kieran Culkin, this is I was just trying to post a reel on Instagram and like Instagram is not allowing me to post it because
I loved
Instagram
this
hates me.
moment. Yes.
But you know how he was so cute, Karen, with his wife
Yes.
and trying to be adorable.
Yes.
Um, and he he said, like, if you promise me that if I won the Oscar, we can have a fourth. There are people online, Molly, you and I can't handle these kinds of people, but there are
No.
people online that are like, this is so sexist.
Stop.
And this man is
Nope.
forcing this woman to bear his baby,
Stop.
like Handmaid's Tale shit.
That was probably the cutest exchange of the night. I thought
She
it was
was crying. She was
uh,
so happy.
so cute, adorable. That is actually how a couple, a very healthy couple engages with each other. It's how they laugh, they make a joke, they have fun together, they poke fun at each other. I mean, that's fun, that's funny, that's entertaining.
Not according to people on threads.
Oh my gosh, I can't handle it. We can't have fun anymore. You can't have fun, you can't crack a joke, you can't do anything anymore. It's
No, apparently that's like that's abusive in a marriage.
wild.
I'm
Well,
like, he spent his Oscar speech talking about how much he's obsessed with his wife.
every single time, every award he gets, he talks
He
about.
loves the crap out of her.
It's adorable to see. I mean, you can see all these other egomaniacs. They never mention their
They
spouses.
don't even they forget that their
They
wives
forget their
exist.
names.
Yeah. I mean, like I can remember off the top of my head some bad looks, but like for example, Zoe Saldana, I know we talked about her very briefly. I hated her dress.
No, she looked like a valance, like a balloon
And it was
valance.
like a baby doll, but like where were her boobs?
No, it was nude netting, but there's no boob.
I know it's like they were gone.
Gone. It was wild. I
Um,
hate like a mesh glove. Like the whole look was not for me.
no, and she knew she was gonna win. Like I'm like, that's your year.
Yeah. No.
Selena
That's not
Gomez
an Oscar
was
dress.
beyond gorgeous.
Whose?
Selena,
Oh my gosh, she looks amazing.
perfection.
Perfection. Did you see her Vanity Fair dress?
I liked it even more.
Even more. The Vanity Fair red carpet is actually to me always the better
It's the
dress
better looks.
red carpet.
Beyond gorgeous.
You know who I thought had a really kind of bad fail last night was Emma Stone. Did you see her dress?
So plain Jane. And then with she doesn't have she has this pixie cut and I'm
Hmm?
gonna say it and I'm not you're not supposed to. It's not it's not doing it for me.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know
just don't
why she did it.
understand why and I include myself in this, all of us pale people should not dress in our skin color ever. It's not cute. It's not pretty.
Unless you do something dramatic, maybe with your makeup and your hair, but she has
Mm,
no hair now. And her makeup was pretty light
yeah.
also. So she really looked very boring and plain and washed out.
Yeah. There was a lot of that. There was a lot of sheer neutral gowns. You know who did it right? Julianne Hough, your favorite.
She's not my favorite.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of somebody else then. Julianne Hough, I thought looked gorgeous. She had like a brownish gold sheer dress, and I thought she looked fantastic. She did kind of like old school glamour hair and makeup, and I think that's it worked. Like there were layers to it. It had interest to it.
Lauren Sanchez showing up to the Vanity Fair party in a full wedding dress.
There were a lot of wedding dresses. Okay,
There
let's
were.
talk about Kim Kardashian.
Well, she came in a duvet.
She was.
She was in my comforter. She
It
literally
was.
came in my blanket and it looked like a cozy blanket. But
It
I
was
truly
nice
think that if she got tired, she just went to bed,
that most people do like the big ball gown in the back if they're going to do like the halfies. This
it was
was the ball
opposite,
gown in the front and then not in the back.
which was such a strange choice considering all the attention on the buttocks for her.
It
I'm
was a
trying to
dress mullet.
remember. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what was another look that I said I loved.
Oh, Halle Berry.
I don't remember what she looked
She was
like.
in that mirrored, like, oh, perfection. It was so stunning. That was my favorite look of the night. It was Demi Moore until Halle Berry walked on that red carpet. She was in this like fitted, mirrored, Christian Siriano made it. And
Got
it
it.
had kind of like see-through mesh on the side, but then it was like all this mirrored, beautifully tailored dress. She
I'm
looked
gonna have to look for it.
Oh, you've got to Google it. It's amazing. She looks stunning. The best I've ever seen her look. She's also got that substance and dosage for sure.
What about what about Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah being the reps for Ozempic last night?
I didn't see them present.
You just fell asleep for that
No, I know.
time?
It was probably during my bathroom break.
Honestly, I couldn't believe we were doing and this is no offense, Quincy Jones, but I feel like we just did a whole Quincy Jones thing at the Grammys. I
Mm-hmm.
can't believe that we were doing another Quincy Jones thing, and Lance and all my friends were like, "Well, he also had a huge like role in the, film industry as well." And I said, "Okay, I get it. Like he was a music and film legend, but like
Right.
we just literally did a huge thing at the Grammys 2 weeks ago, like or 3 weeks ago, whatever." It was for such a long show. I couldn't believe that we just did something and we were doing another thing again for Queen
Mm-hmm.
Latifah, the song.
Oh my gosh, this reminds me. Okay, you know how every year they do the in memoriams?
Let's talk about that.
Okay, and every year they leave somebody out that was
Hmm.
big. So they left out uh Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yeah.
They left out Shannon Doherty.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
But I mean, it's just wild to me, like how they can just like
Huge, huge names.
names.
They left out Shannon Doherty. Like Michelle, okay, that maybe makes sense because that happened, but they put in Gene Hackman.
Yes, they did a huge thing for Gene Hackman. It's got to be a
Also,
one-year
I want to
job because
say
they
about
screw it
the
up
in
every year.
memoriam, it's supposed to make you emotional and cry and not
Yeah,
scared that someone's going to break into your house. The music during that in memoriam was so sinister and really awful.
yeah,
Do you remember like when it's the in memoriam, I want them to sing like Boys to Men, like or something
yeah.
like, give me a song from
Wait,
like
what's
a
the
seventh
song?
grade school dance that makes me want to
Um,
cry.
and I'll take with me
Please,
a memory.
memory. Okay, or like, I will remember you. Yeah, give me a Sarah
I know, give me
McLachlan
something.
1994 melody.
It's the Oscars. Give us a cinematic moment.
Give me something that I can feel. Give me the terms of endearment
Yeah,
music.
totally.
Don't stick me with it. Ooh, whoa, whoa. I was like, is this a sleeping with the enemy theme? I was like, should I check my cabinets for the cans and see if the labels are all forward facing? I got scared. I swear, I'm like, get the flashlights.
Beyonce.
Thank you, Beyonce.
Thank you, Beyonce.
Speaking of, we had an earthquake last night.
I heard the
Mhm.
Oscars came, the earth shattered. I
The
mean,
earth shattered because Adrian Brody threw his gum at his girlfriend.
that's right.
They were
Talk
like,
of the town.
no.
Talk of the town. Wait, going back to Michelle Trachtenberg, because that's a good lead in to let's
Yes.
change topics for a second.
Yes.
To Donna, you are the connoisseur. All things Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. Last time you were on, just to catch everybody up, last time you were on, it was right before the alleged amendments were being filed from Blake Lively's camp, which turned out to be a complete nothing burger, which we talked about. And then I talked about on another episode the SNL snafu disaster that was. Take us through what has happened since the SNL disaster till today. What are
Mm-mm.
some big moments that have happened?
Big moments. Well, I would say, the SNL, you would think it like kind of can't get any worse for them because that really was a low moment, I think, for them. They probably thought we are doing something big. We're coming out hitting strong. Like we got the last laugh, LOL. And then Brian Friedman said, not so fast, buddy. As you know, right after that, Blake Lively came out with her amended complaint, which we thought was going to be this huge, like, shocker. And there was really not much in there, minus a couple of extra, potential uh, people who had been feeling uncomfortable on set, but nothing in writing, no actual specific like claims other than just hearsay at this point. And some, words and text messages, but we're not seeing any screenshots, like no real solid evidence. At this point, what we have is upcoming, the next step was that Blake Lively filed for all these subpoenas, these huge amount of subpoenas that she wants to go back like 2.5 years to get all of this information of, text messages and logs and phone logs and whatever. Justin Baldoni's team said, not so fast. This is not a criminal case. This seems wild. This seems too much. And the judge has basically most recently said, okay, we will let you get a certain amount of it, but not that much. We have to narrow it down. So it was more a win for Baldoni, which is, I'm obviously giving you such a watered down, but it was, Baldoni got more of a legal win in the last week by basically the judge saying, hey, you can get a certain amount, but you can't get it all. And since then, Blake Lively has removed her subpoena for his employees' records because she probably realized it was kind of like a fish, like she wasn't going to get what she wanted anyway out of it.
Right.
Other updates from that is that there
Wait,
is
I'm going
going
to
to be,
stop you real
yeah,
quick, Donna, because I do want to put out there that you and I were Team Blake all the way in the very beginning.
big
We
time.
we were defending her. We were probably one of the last few to switch over. I mean, we were like, how dare they say what they're saying? Like, I'm sure she's got to be truthful. I'm sure this is a real case, right?
Yeah.
And so I just want to point that out there that we were Team Blake in the beginning for sure.
Oh my
Too
God.
much has happened since then that we can't refute what's going on here.
Well, it's just so interesting because, like, I really try very hard to stay impartial. I'm trying
Mhm.
so hard to give her the benefit of the doubt because
For
not
sure.
because I believe that you have to believe women or anything like that. I just want to believe the truth. And when someone says I was sexually harassed, I understand how scary and how hard that is to say that out loud, especially in a public
Well,
setting.
and I've received messages. I know you've received hundreds of messages from people who have been actually sexually harassed in like a serious way that's been like terrifying, life changing. And they're kind of upset because what it does is it minimizes what they experienced and it makes it even more difficult because when someone's saying something that's not exactly what they experienced, let's say, of real sexual harassment, it hurts the people who have actually experienced it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, like, I just don't understand why she would have ever said this unless it was real. That's how we went with it. We were like, there's no way she would ever say this unless it was true. So, how could she ever have made this up until you start realizing, but this doesn't make sense and this doesn't make sense. And oh, she said this instead, and she did this, and then she did this. And then you start to kind of put things together. And then in terms of other stuff that's come out since then, is like, there's just so many amazing creators out there that have really dived in. Like I just featured one on my show. Her name is Elsie, and
Love her.
she's just this fan of pop culture, and she's just started recognizing things, and she started talking to her husband about it, and he's like, I don't really give a shit about this, just start creating videos in January. And she was like, okay, and started putting together TikToks and Instagram because she started finding content online of Ryan Reynolds totally being a hypocrite, and she's finding all these things that are showing the nuance of everything. For example, Blake Lively saying that one of the reasons she's suing Jamie Heath, who's one of the producers, is that he had eye contact with her when she was breastfeeding her baby.
And she
Well,
had asked him, or she had asked the people in the room to turn around because she was breastfeeding. And I guess he
they
moved
locked eyes.
and locked eyes at one
And
point.
he apologized profusely later,
Yep.
and she actually forgave him. But now she's putting that in the lawsuit for
Yep.
sexual harassment.
Mm-hmm.
And Elsie found this clip of Ryan Reynolds saying in a Deadpool question Q&A live that one thing he would ever go back on a time traveling thing is this time that he saw a stranger breastfeeding and he couldn't stop staring at her. It's uncomfortable sometimes. You don't know where to look. You lock eyes. Shit happens.
It's
And
almost
I
like
think that's
everything she's accusing Justin of, her own husband has done times 10. So there's like
mhm.
a little bit of projection going on. There's something weird. There's a dynamic that I think we're all tuning into that's not adding up.
Everything she has suggested that Justin and Jamie have done is in the court or in the spectrum of sexual harassment does not even go doesn't even move the needle compared to what really can be done on sets for sexual harassment or elsewhere in workplaces, which is another reason why we're like why Bethany says this is the wokest case ever. Why so many of us are
Yes.
like, come on, this is a waste of the court's time. Now, when she goes over the what they call a smear campaign and what he did when he hired his PR people and apparently executed, according to her, this plan of attack, taking her down. Okay, that is more of a lawsuit because that would make more sense. But then again, she has no proof at this point.
Kind of wild to me that she's accusing, as part of this smear campaign, is that she's alleging that creators like yourself
Mhm.
are actually working for Baldoni's team, that they're like handing you this information that's negative about Blake instead of just finding it yourself.
She says that we're parroting
Yes.
Justin Baldoni. Like we are paid, not even she doesn't even say that we're paid. She just thinks we're parroting him. And that's why she's worried that she wants everything to be under a protected order, which is attorney's eyes only. She wants all of the upcoming things that come out from her side, text messages, call logs, etc., not even to go to Justin, not even to go to Steve Sarowitz, which is all these co-defendants. She only wants it to go to Brian Friedman and the attorneys, which is really, really wild in cases like this. It only really works if you're talking about two businesses that maybe, what I explained on my show and the example I use, if you have like Rayo's sauce suing Prego or
Right.
whatever, because you don't want them to see each other's recipes. But this is crazy. He's not going to steal anything from her. She just doesn't want her personal information coming out.
So she hires a CIA crisis
Yes. So
manager. That's kind of the newest development. Now, this is really interesting because ever since we got the news that this CIA crisis manager has joined Blake's team, creators like yourself and others
mm.
have noticed some things happening. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, we didn't know she had hired him until probably Thursday or Friday of last week. But at the beginning of last week, something happened. No, Sunday of last week. I remember this really well. I was cooking dinner Sunday night. And mind you, I post a lot. I'm constantly posting online. I posted nonstop about the fires. I posted nonstop about Blake Lively. And I also happen to be Jewish. And so I post a lot about anti Semitism. These are three like high controversial conversations. Okay. The fires, not so much anymore, but they were shockingly became very controversial at the time because of like politics around it, The this is why I'm on the show Polarized. I'm a very polarizing figure. But the Blake Lively stuff it wasn't polarizing at all for a while. It was like so not polarizing. The
It was,
people that would be polarizing would be the people that were in Blake Lively's camp.
for better or worse, it was kind of in the beginning like gossipy entertainment, right?
Totally. And then Sunday night, I'm cooking dinner. And I go to comment on one of my posts because someone had left a comment. I go to respond and I get a notification from Instagram, which I've never seen in all my 10 years of being on Instagram and constantly engaging, saying, you are no longer allowed to comment until the 26th. And this was like on the 22nd or 23rd. Like it was 3, 4 days later. And I was like, what? And says, please let us know if you believe we've made a mistake. I'm like, let us know. Yes, you've made a mistake. Anyway, I pay for a verified account. There's a reason I'm paying $11.99 or whatever a month, for legitimacy, but also because of shit like this. Because I'm not spam and I'm not a bot. And, part of the reason that you get a verified account is so that you can get access to help,
Yep.
like a chat. So I go to the chat, and what I find out is that they decide in a chat, they tell me the reason that you have no like, issues with your account status is fine. You've not broken any rules. The problem with your account is that you have triggered like flags in your comments that they believe we are like someone here has believed that you are spam or a bot in your comments. So that
Bizarre.
basically that happens if someone spams comments. If
Yeah.
you write the same comment 100,000 times, or remember how you used to get that?
Yes, because I'm an aggressive liker. And so if I was too fast with my likes and comments, I was put on timeout for 24 hours, a few days, whatever.
So if you're like an auto bot spammer commenter where you like set a remote like a robot bot, I mean commenter, it will trigger that and it will turn you off. But I can only comment as fast as my little hands can comment, and I wasn't even commenting.
It
It was
wasn't
what
any
the
faster than what you had normally been commenting. You've been in the same group for a long time.
And by the way, it was my first comment in an hour. I was making dinner. So it wasn't like I was sitting there like, and I'm on my phone and I'm multitasking. I wasn't like intent that night on commenting. And what I came to the conclusion was, and by the way, I could still post on my feed, I could still create videos, and I could still do stories. I just couldn't comment,
Mhm.
which is very, very silencing, by the way. I don't know if you can recognize that because I could post on my feed, but if someone commented something, I couldn't defend myself in comments,
So
which
Donna
is
was
very
not,
strange.
yeah, Donna was not silent. She was silenced.
There you go. And then I couldn't write on threads, which is where I was getting attacked majorly. I couldn't defend myself.
Yeah.
And so,
Hmm.
so I realized that that weekend I had left a very popular comment on a Hollywood Reporter piece about Justin Baldoni, and I made like kind of a joke about Blake Lively. She's going to think this is a smear campaign, which got screenshot in a Daily Mail article. And it was like, it got a few thousand likes, but so many comments get a few thousand. It's not that crazy. It's just the fact that it was highlighted. And I have this weird feeling that this CIA guy probably was hired already or someone else on her team and highlighted a few big creators who were commenting things about Blake and put us in jail because I wasn't the only person. Once I started speaking about it, saying, guys, I'm in Instagram jail, the amount of DMs, and they're not comments because we weren't allowed to comment, but the amount of DMs, at least 20 that night, 20 the next day. And then on my YouTube comments, because I talked about it on my show, so many people were in jail. It's never happened. These
It's
are all
wild.
people that are pro Justin, anti Blake.
Yeah, it's very interesting the timing of it all. I have a question. What do
Mm.
you think it's currently like for Blake and Ryan at home right now? Do you think
I
there's,
keep thinking about this.
I can't stop thinking about it. Is I wonder if they're like in cahoots together, or if they're like, yeah, it's us against the world, baby, or if they can't stand each other right now. She's so mad about the joke that he made at SNL. And he's like, no, man, it was funny. It hit what it was supposed, like what is the dynamic right now between the two of them?
Okay. If they are a normal couple, like if they are like my husband and I are not normal. Okay. If I guess it comes down to this, because I was talking to my husband after a couple drinks on Saturday night about this. My husband is convinced that while Ryan Reynolds is part of the problem, he was he was basically love bombed by Blake Lively, and
Mm.
he had no choice but to kind of go along with his wife here. And she completely kind of not lied to him, maybe, but told him that she was going through this on set, and he had no choice but to go along the entire thing. I said, okay, that's fine. But he didn't have to do nice pool. He didn't have to go this far and hate on him. He made those choices to do that. So to believe your wife is one thing, but to
Mhm.
triple down, quadruple down, and create all this extra shit, that's a Ryan Reynolds thing.
Yeah, I don't
So
think it's a
they're
very
both
happy home
in
right
it
now.
they're in it together.
Yeah,
He can't
yeah.
be mad at her.
My gut is that it's a very tense filled home right now where they're each kind of blaming each other for making it worse.
Well, it's your fault it started. Well, it's your fault that it's this big.
And then my other question that I keep thinking about is what do you think her conversations are like with Taylor Swift right now?
I don't think they're talking.
Yeah.
I think Taylor and Travis, I think Travis, if he's a good boyfriend, said, girls, stay away.
Hmm.
They're
Wait,
bad news bears.
what are the chances that in Taylor's next album, there's a song that has like dragons in it? Like, let's make a wager. Like, there's gonna
Knowing Taylor,
there's gonna be a song in there for sure, right?
slay my dragons.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be something.
I mean, she's not an idiot. She's going to capitalize on this somehow.
100%. And it's gonna be so subtle, but the true Swifties are gonna read through the lines like they always do.
Like what's a dragon? What's another word for dragon? Like
Like you fire breathing.
there you go.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? There's going to be something about fire breathing in there for sure. I'm going to rewind to this tape when her next album comes out, and I will prove that I knew this.
I'm looking up Dragon Thesaurus and we're
Yeah.
going to find out. Wait, so
Um.
then so she hires this ex-CIA
Yes.
Nick Shapiro,
Okay.
and he basically is responsible for the Hunter Biden laptop cover up.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
He's responsible for like crazy Bill Clinton shit. Like he's responsible for huge natural disasters, for like this is not a small potatoes type of guy. He's
No.
also very, very controversial in his own.
I'm going to share with you my dream list of people I want subpoenaed if
Ooh.
this case goes live. Or yeah. Okay. I would love obviously Taylor Swift to be subpoenaed because I think that just would be fascinating. I would love Travis to be subpoenaed because there's a part of me that thinks that he was there for some of this. I don't know if he was in the apartment that night of like the big meeting, but that would be amazing. But remember how many times the four of them were snapped going to dinner together?
No, they had double dates. Totally.
They definitely have been discussing this all together.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why were Taylor Swift and Travis and Blake and Ryan on double dates, and Taylor Swift and Travis and Jason Kelsey and Kylie have never been on a double date?
Mm-hmm.
Like Blake and Ryan have 4 kids.
Right.
Why couldn't they have found a time to double date? This is an interesting question. I'm
Right.
truly, seriously curious.
No, it's actually a really good point. Do you think Travis is at home like trying to weigh in his thoughts on the case and Taylor's like, no, honey, no.
I don't know for the life of me what Travis and Taylor talk about when they're alone. You tell me.
Like,
You're more of a fan.
oh, I love them. Okay, so I say this with
Do you
love.
think do you think they have like serious deep convos?
I think they do. I think they're so different that they find each other fascinating in how each other thinks because they're so different. But I can also see him being like, "Oh, this is what I think," and her be like, "Honey, you weren't there. Like you're not really understanding the nuances of this."
But he's like, I have a top podcast. What the hell do you have? Era Schmeras.
Do you think they're going to subpoena content creators? Do you think you're going to get subpoenaed, Dada Bowling?
No. But
No.
if anyone does, it would be like Perez Hilton, Candace Owens,
Mm-hmm.
like the ones that have been mentioned already in the trial will.
Mm.
But there's so many covering it. I don't think I will, unless something happens that I get brought up, but not yet.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
I mean,
Do you-
I at this point, like I have to be in New York in March though.
okay.
Like for the trial, not this March, next year.
No, next year.
I feel
Oh,
like I have to.
we're camping out. I'm going to get an Airbnb for it.
It has to. Like I have to. I just have to. I have to at this point.
Front lines.
If I'm still alive, knocking on wood with this PR guy coming after me and like taking down all my videos.
Seriously, we're gonna have to put you in the witness protection.
Well, I mean, Zach Peter, who is covering this, his
Love
video
him.
just got demonetized today. Sharsti Flaw, who's the girl who's behind the interview that said, "Congrats on your little bump," you know that one.
Yes.
Her Wikipedia page has been totally like demolished. People are getting taken down.
Wow. This is
Something is
wild.
up.
Something is definitely up. And I'm interested to see what happens. Do you think it's actually going to go to trial? Do you think there's any chance of it getting settled before next March?
I thought so, except for the fact that I just think that Blake and Ryan are all in times 10. Like it doesn't look in any way that they're pulling out. So unless something massive happens in the next couple months with Discovery,
Mhm.
that they are, finding themselves like, okay, we really don't have anything, where they're going through call logs and they're like, yeah, we're not finding shit, then I just don't think. Because if they don't find anything in terms of evidence on the smear campaign side, then I don't think that they're going to have enough evidence on the sexual harassment side. Like, there's just not going to be enough.
But
I don't see how they'll have evidence on the sexual harassment side, no matter what. I just don't.
there's got to be a point though where it quiets down a little. Every week, a new development, a new development, a new development. At some point, right? It's got to
Well,
quiet
Thursday they're doing a hearing. Thursday the 6th, 4th, 5th, 6th. Yeah. They're doing a hearing. And the judge has opened it up for public to listen in by calling in a phone number, which is wild. Basically, according to Legal Bites on X, she said the letter basically says, and it's so weird, it says the judge in Lively versus Wayfarer Studios has granted an order allowing the public and the press to listen into an upcoming hearing. It says the court will post an audio only dial-in number on the docket for the public and press to access the hearing. The party shall be provided instructions for hearing access via email, and that will be 10 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. And it's so random, but it's about discovery and about protection order.
This is fascinating to me. So there's going to be so much more to talk about. So Donna Bowling, I hope you come back again.
Obviously.
Every month until the trial. And then we'll have to have you a live wire on you to record the trial if you're there every day.
Duh.
But thank you so much for being on with us today. So appreciate you, enjoy you. And you guys, you've got to check in the Daily Dose of Donna every day at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
It's usually approximately 11:30. It's somewhere in that, depending on what breaking news happens. So I kind of sometimes have to push it on YouTube. And you have to come on the show.
Yes, I'll come on sometime for sure. Absolutely.
For sure. So, yes. And we talk about all kinds of things. Today we did a whole Oscars roast. We talked about Southern Charm. We talked about Casey Anthony.
Oh my gosh. Can you believe that she just...
You sent it to me.
Okay, yes. Can we talk about this real quick?
Sure. My audience was livid.
I could not believe my eyes. I said the first thing I do whenever I see anything that is shocking is send it to Donna Bowling.
It's wild.
All of a sudden on my TikTok is Casey Anthony in her car talking about signing up for her Substack because she's all into the legal findings of protecting her friends and people. What was she talking about? Did you make sense of it?
It doesn't make any sense. She's all of a sudden saying, like, I am an advocate for people, for LGBTQ.
Yes.
She's gay?
I don't know.
I think so.
Yes.
Sounds like she is.
She was talking about how she has to protect people who are close to her, but she was very, she was
so vague.
Specific, so vague. And she said, to protect my privacy, you're going to be seeing me a lot in my car. Because she doesn't
And she, like, right before she filmed, she was like,
yeah, she was fanning herself down from the intensity of what she was about to discuss, which was very generic, a lot of legalese. And yeah, so she said she's going to post on the Meta platforms, but her main platform is Substack, and please subscribe.
It's just, what's weird is that I did get a comment, like most of my comments were like, gross, no, don't want to see her. She, apparently killed her baby, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And allegedly. Yeah. And then I did get a comment from someone saying, an attorney who follows me, and she said, Donna, DM me we need a DM because I think there's a reason that she got off, innocent. There's a reason, basically believing that she's innocent.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, interesting. More to come on this. All right, Donna.
More to come on this. You're such a newscaster.
All right, Donna, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you. And thank you everyone for listening in. See you next time on Polarized.
Bye. Bye.